She must have been. Look her when she was younger.
She was playing.
Okay, I will call the special meeting of the county board for February 8th to order at this time. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
19 supervisors present, 2 absent, Supervisors Berg and Teuteberg.
Okay, I would seek a motion to approve the agenda.
Omar moves.
Okay, Bo moves. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Gil seconds. Any discussion? Green to approve and red to disapprove. You're ready.
19 yes, 0 no.
Okay, agenda passes. Move to members of the public wishing to be heard. Karen Mueller.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Karen Mueller. I'm a local attorney. My husband, Dean Mueller, sits on this board. In the interest of full disclosure, I wanted to tell you that. But the statement I'm about to make is my own, and my opinions are my own. I'm here to ask you to support the resolution that will be before you tonight that attempts to bring HSHS to the negotiating table for the doctors from Oakleaf Medical Center that are offering to put together a purchase deal for the 2 hospitals in question for the purpose of saving and securing emergency, surgical, and mental health services in our area, along with other needed services. You, the Board of Supervisors of Chippewa County, are the only people standing between your constituents and their potential loss of critical health services. Please ask the right questions going forward, because this does not have to be a done deal. To date, it appears that HSHS has been running away from potential buyers for St. Joseph and for Sacred Heart Hospital. That's my opinion. You should be asking why this is happening when HSHS will have no further use for these properties. These circumstances also further beg the question of what is the next intended use for these buildings. If there is another buyer in the wings, the citizens of Chippewa Valley deserve to know that before their local hospital is destroyed. Please see the handout that I gave you regarding Mount Sinai in New York. The case was just recently filed out in New York. In speaking to various people, I've discovered that needed medical equipment and machines have already been removed from St. Joseph's. If you want to sell a viable business as a going concern, you leave the fixtures and the equipment necessary to make it an attractive turnkey business for the next owner. You don't strip it down unless you have a new intended use in mind for the buildings. What is that next use? People deserve answers before this is a done deal. For Chippewa County residents, this closure of St. Joseph Hospital will be devastating both economically and personally. On Monday, I reached out and I called the state's Hospital Oversight Department. I did this just for me, not for a client, because I am concerned about what is going on. And please see the other handout there. When I mentioned to Denise Balboa that I reached, when I mentioned that the 2 sudden unsuspected hospital closures that were announced in Chippewa Valley, she indicated that she had only heard vague rumblings and stated that so far no one other than myself had contacted them about a potential loss of access to patient care. I told her, then let me be the first to tell you that there is going to be a loss of access to patient health care. The state officials in the Department of Health need to hear from you, from state and federal legislators, and from the citizens of the Chippewa Valley, regardless of your political persuasion. Everyone should be burning up the proverbial phone lines to get the state's Department of Health's attention. There must be state oversight for this potentially catastrophic and devastating proposal for Western Wisconsin's health care and economy. Chippewa County cannot afford to lose this facility. The hospital sustains both life and the economic well-being of this area. Do not let these hospitals close without a fight. That requires that each of you dig in and ask the right questions. The doctors of Oakleaf have been trying to throw the Chippewa Valley community a lifeline. These doctors are willing to help develop a community-owned hospital. They have said they will operate them, and they have the experience to do this. What they need from you and from other people to support their efforts is to ask the right questions and to encourage the sale of these hospitals to Oakleaf. Any other proposed use of these buildings is not in the best interests of the people who live here. This is not a done deal unless you let it be a done deal. Please support the resolution before you. If HSHS still refuses to discuss a sale to the doctors of Oakleaf, then please consider getting an injunction and take legal action as they did in the Mount Sinai case. Slow this down until you have all of the answers that sustain all of the questions of your constituents. I thank you so much for your time.
Any other members of the public wishing to be heard? I see none. Then we'll move on to the business item, resolution requests hospital sisters of the health system. Could clerk please read?
Resolution number 5-24, resolution to request Hospital Sister Health System and Prevea Health to work collaboratively with partners for continuation of care and services. Now therefore be it resolved that the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors requests HSHS and Prevea Health to utilize the entire transition timeline to allow community stakeholders, including but not limited to the medical community and local municipalities, to work collaboratively to ensure a continuity of service within the community for the health and well-being of residents. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the chief executive officers of HSHS and Prevea Health, as well as the governor and all state legislators that represent areas affected by the HSHS and Prevea Health closures, dated this 8th day of February by Chippewa County Board of Supervisors.
Okay, I would seek a motion to approve.
Supervisor Hunt?
Supervisor Hunt makes motion approve. Is there a second? Okay, we'll give it to Buck here. We had a tie there, but Buck wins it this time. Okay, discussion?
Let me talk on it quick. So this resolution comes about as a larger effort from the local, state, and federal effort to get HSHS to the table to work with the community to try and lessen the impact of this system closing. I'm part of a group that was started in Eau Claire County, and part of it's called a government group. It's like a subgroup of the bigger group. And this is what we talked about in order to have the community know, first of all, that we're interested and concerned with this. But it's also, the main reason is to try and get HSHS to come to the table and talk to Oakleaf or whoever they can to help continue to provide services. Because one of the very frustrating things happening throughout this process is, and I keep on hearing every meeting I go to, is people wanting to do something but not knowing what to do. So this resolutions let the health systems and the people of Chippewa County know that this board supports everyone working together to come up with a solution to this huge problem, and it is a huge problem. I know sometimes county boards pass resolutions that I think people, say it's a feel-good action. I don't feel like this resolution is that. This is really a bigger part of a effort from local leaders, state leaders, and federal leaders to try and put pressure on HSHS to come to the table. That's the reason for the resolution.
Okay. In the interest of full disclosure, I've been at those meetings too. And in fact, this week I will be at a meeting every day this week on this issue. And just returned from Madison for 2 days. We're on this. Any questions? Yes, Jim.
There's some endowments, I think, that are sitting out there, that there's been a lot of money, local people that have, and so what's going to happen with that money?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That was discussed at one of the meetings, and so they're working on it, and if I'm correct, is it about 19 million?
18 million is what they said.
18 million?
I don't think anybody knows
So-
what's going to happen.
It's being discussed, Jim. I don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah, a lot of people put a lot of money in those
Yeah.
fundraisers. Yeah. But yeah, I don't have an answer. I got lots of questions, not a lot of answers, unfortunately. I said the only thing we really solved so far is we found a temporary morgue, which was a big deal. And then DHS has maybe found a solution for birth to 3. Big deal to us too, and we think we got that solved, but we'll find that out in the next couple days. That's really, of all the issues that we have in front of us, those are the only good news I have for you, unfortunately. I got 8 pages of lists of services that are going to be gone from all our departments, and of course we're working on that, and they're, it's all we've been doing since this has hit. But yeah, don't have a lot of answers, unfortunately.
That?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Outside of Oakley, if there was any other local providers that were interested in not only the property, but the business itself and taking on those patients. I know that, at least for me, when I went to the cancer center, it was a glut of people there. Just, the wait time was way longer than it normally is, so.
Yeah. What we've heard is that there was 3 organizations that tried to purchase it before they made the decision to close completely, and fiscally they couldn't make it work. So that's all we've heard. I'd say the only ones that I've heard about is Oakleaf at these meetings. And I didn't understand all this. Maybe everybody knows this, but Oakleaf is divided into 2 sections: the surgical side and the medical. And I've heard mostly from the surgical. I think he's the CEO. And you guys have to forgive me. We've met lots of people this week and lots of titles, but that's what I remember from our meeting. And they're the ones that are being very, trying to get HSHS to sit down with them. I know they're trying to do stuff for Prevea. It sounds like Prevea is more willing to talk and have conversations, from what I've heard. But as far as I know, nobody has talked to upper leadership in HSHS, and the local local hospitals have been told they can't speak to anybody about anything. Gotcha. That's difficult.
Any other? Supervisor Gearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I have a question and then a comment. My question is, where is this resolution going? Where is it going to be exposed to the public and how?
It will be posted. There's a list of where the clerk's supposed to send it to at the end of the resolution. I could look at it, but yeah, it's going to be sent to, do you have that?
It's like the legislator,
Yeah,
governor.
Yeah, it's right on there where it's going to be sent.
Okay, then my comment is, I think this is a good step. I don't know how many here saw the, excuse me, the letter to the editor in the Eau Claire paper last night, but I think that was a huge step forward, not only for that community, but exposure to the public. And, maybe above and beyond the resolution, if there could be some more wordage accompanying it, and at minimal, I think it should be in all county local papers. to expose as many people as possible to this problem.
Point of information, yesterday there were multiple legislators that were asking about tonight's resolution in Chippewa County. So there's lots of people watching.
Yeah, so I don't know all the communities that are actually passing this because the government, the subdivision committee I'm on, some were asked to reach out to other communities too. I was asked to reach out to Chippewa Falls, reached out to them. I understand they passed it maybe a couple days ago. It was. Eau Claire passed it, I think it was last night maybe. I know Altoona's looking at it, Dunn County's looking at it. So yeah, to try and get it out and get as broad as we can, make people aware. I think, I mean, for my, I've kind of lived this the last 2 weeks and can't imagine what the people that are losing their jobs and, have to have health care right now. I can't imagine what they're going through. But I think people are aware of it. I don't think they really understand unless you sit in front of a doctor and hear the numbers and hear the, how many ambulance calls come in, the ER call, all the births. I mean, we heard 900 babies that don't have any place to be born. We heard up to 1,200 for 2024. I don't think, honestly, I don't think people really understand it until, I didn't understand it. I knew it was devastating in the first letter I sent to you guys. I said that, and I meant that. I probably understated it. Just hearing from the actual professionals that are dealing with this day in and day out and trying to find care for their patients. It's devastating as you can get, I think.
Again, just to augment, so the mental health services portion has been serving from St. Croix to here and from Spooner to here. That entire section of the state of Wisconsin was serviced by this. So there are many government entities that are concerned about this. So that's the scope of just that portion of this issue.
Yeah, nearest children's bed for mental health is now La Crosse. We have nothing in this region. The ERs have been on very commonly, even with everybody being operational or on bypass or diversion, I think they call it, currently. So I heard as many as 1,400 calls go from Chippewa Falls just to the hospital here a year. So it's like doubling what these other hospitals have to take on. So there's just not the capacity to do that, no matter how much they gear up. And the other hospitals have talked about gearing up. Mayo has, Marshfield, obviously you guys probably heard a lot about Oakleaf. But there's not the physical space even to be able to gear up enough to cover everybody.
Any other questions? Supervisor Gearing.
Do we have any recourse to delay this action until some resolution can be made?
We've tried everything. We've reached out we talked to the federal level. We talked to the governor office. We were at another meeting that was with workforce development that I'm not even sure the governor was going to be there at first, but that was Monday. Is that Monday?
That was Monday.
Monday. And they talked about, that, people probably find jobs, and we asked, is there an injunction? Can you do, we looked at emergency orders from either emergency management or health department. The statutes just are not set up for this event. There's not statutory authority to stop this from all levels. And we've had Van Orden, we've had Tiffany, we've talked to everybody, Jesse Jane, you name them. Everybody's been contacted. Everybody wants to stop it because that's really what the ask was from Oakleaf was if these machines leave these buildings, it's very difficult, not only cost-wise to get them back, but the red tape to get them back. Having the regulatory systems and all that kind of stuff they got to get approved from is very difficult. So that's really what they asked for right from day one, and nobody could do it. Nobody could come up with a way to do it. So. And the Attorney General was contacted. I mean, everybody has looked at it and said that there's nothing they can do. So very frustrating.
Again, the scope of just one MRI could be a $10 million bill. That's one piece of equipment. needless to say, we've been inundated with meetings, and I'm sure we're going to be inundated with meetings for a long time. So doing our best to stay on top of this.
One of the things that they talked about, you probably heard this in the public too, is Oakleaf has talked about, doing a community hospital. Never heard that term until we were at the meeting, the meeting at the chamber. And somebody said, does that mean a county-owned hospital? And the Oakleaf staff that was there said, no, it's not county-owned, it's community-run. So there is a hospital that we're in contact with to see how that happens. First, we kind of talked to them about, is there capacity? They don't want to grow. They like their system. I'm not going to say who it is right now, just in case, because I don't have permission to. But what I really want to focus on and what we're going to try and do, and they've been really gracious to open up and talk with us and being willing to give us their time, is to look at the structure. Like, what's the organization structure? What's the budget structure? How is it governed? All those, what's the bylaws? What's all that? How do you do this with the state? Because that's what I honestly feel like I can be some help in. I mean, that's my world. That's administrative world. So that's where we're going, but that's going to be a long process and take a long time by everybody's account. But it sounds like from what the doctors are saying at Oakleaf, that's really the solution. Oakleaf doctors cannot own the hospital. So for some reason, doctors are not allowed to own hospitals, which I don't understand, but that's what they keep telling us. So they technically can't buy the hospitals. They can run them, they can be in them, operate them, and do that kind of thing, but they can't own them. So I know that's been said out there that they're looking to buy them. They're not looking to buy them, they're looking to operate them, which is a little different. But and then we heard numbers between 50 and 100 million in order to take over those two hospitals is what.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh, yes.
Mr. Chairman, not to diminish the job that the two of you have done in this, would it be of any benefit to you as administrator, you as to a chairman, to appoint a committee of members to assist you in any way?
So this, maybe I can talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the local committee.
The chamber in Eau Claire put together this whole task force, and then they have subcommittees underneath there. I thought I was going to get the structure of that very early. Was that last week?
Yeah.
That was last week already. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So I just finally received that a couple days ago because I asked for it, and I think that's where some people could probably serve. I did reach out. I got a couple staff members that are going to be on a couple of those committees. Me and Dean are going to meet and talk about, see what the interest is on the board on some of those committees. I think that's probably the way to do it instead of having us. I guess that's my feeling, but whatever Dean thinks. But then you were all working in the whole region. The chamber does have their own work group. They're calling it. It's pretty small and very specific for what the chamber thinks in Chippewa Falls we need, or Chippewa County and overall. So I'm on that too, and so is Dean. And they don't really have subcommittees. They're just trying to talk it out in a smaller group. But I guess that's my thought. We and Dean haven't talked about this at all, but I don't know what your thoughts are, Dean.
Well, I think as you've seen, this thing has 1,000 moving parts, and we're trying to stay on top of this. And with this major committee, I think there's going to be room for individuals here to be able to fit into an area of your desire, expertise. This isn't an easy fix. The one thing that I can tell you that's been common with the health providers, lives are at stake here. This is a legitimate crisis, folks, for us. So I appreciate your willingness to step in, and I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you folks.
I think I'll get some more clarity tomorrow too, because we meet with my government group, it's called, and I got questions on the structure and that kind of thing, so I think that will help too.
Any other questions? Anything else? Randy, you think?
Oh, I think I've depressed everybody enough.
I'm sure most of you don't want about a 3-hour meeting, but if we were to try to just do a synopsis of what we've been through, we'd be here another 3 hours, so. Hearing no further discussion, then we will call the vote. Those to approve, press your green button. To disapprove, push your red. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. 18 yes, 1 abstain. 0 no. 0 no.
Okay. Resolution passes. Agenda items for future consideration. Stay tuned as we get information in. Hate to say it, but we may be back here again on some other issues. Some of them are a little bit more productive. Thank you. Seek a motion to adjourn.
Erickson make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second to that? Seidlitz seconds. Push your green button to go home. Glenn? Yeah. Okay, there we go. I didn't think. Okay.
19 yes, 0 no.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Ground's still frozen. Wintertime, got a big telehandler.
Thanks, sir.
Meat part, cut some meat.
You want to?
And then, because we have to cable them, because we're going over top of campers and mobile homes. And I gotta wait till
Thank
Josh, he's a good operator. I think they're dangling. I was with somebody down there that knows what he's doing. He says, but yeah, we were going on, I'm glad we got it done just a couple weeks ago because, right now that.
I went over to my property over by Marshfield and put a new deck yesterday for our sound booth over there.
He's
February.
He's brand new. He just,
Building anything. It's a little bit muddy, but we're on gravel and everything.
you don't want to be the bad. Hey, I've been up so bad this week right now.
Such a crowd that we could be over there.
Told you, but the
Yeah, the big part now is I suppose that'll.
You too, yeah.
It's never gonna cost me.
Yeah.
Yeah.